She was just a loving soul, just a beautiful soul, a beautiful smile.
Her unborn child was also killed as a result of it. She was savagely decapitated by a freaking savage monster.
This is the story of Liese Dodd, a young woman 8 months pregnant with her whole future ahead of her. And it's also the story of how her life was stolen in a way almost too horrifying to imagine. On June 9th, 2022, around 1 in the afternoon, 22-year-old Liese Dodd's mother, Heidi Noel, arrived at her daughter's apartment. Heidi hadn't heard from Liese in more than 15 hours, which was unusual. They spoke constantly, and now, so close to the birth of Liese's baby, communication was even more frequent. When her text went unanswered, Heidi knew something was wrong. She let herself into the apartment. Just 2 minutes later, neighbors saw her stagger back outside, trembling, her face pale. Something terrible had happened inside.
I got a message from her last night.
What time did you last hear from her?
It was like 9:05 or so. I had sent her a text, and she said they were talking. And then I tried again at 10, and she didn't answer. And then I tried this morning 2 times, and she didn't answer. And so then I came over here because she usually answers.
Okay. So last time you talked to her was last night when she sent your text message, right?
Yes.
Okay. The officers are coming. They'll be there
I
shortly,
know.
okay?
I know.
Okay.
The 911 call that followed was gut-wrenching. Through sobs, Heidi told the dispatchers the unthinkable.
911 with the address of...
Yeah. Hi. Listen.
What's going on?
My girlfriend's daughter is killed. Yeah.
What's going on there?
My daughter's, he chopped her head off.
Her daughter was dead. Not only dead, but mutilated in a way no parent should ever have to witness. Inside that small second-floor apartment, police discovered Liese's body. Her head was missing. It wasn't there in the bedroom, not in the apartment at all. Someone had deliberately taken it away. And that missing piece of evidence, the most horrific piece, was waiting in that white laundry basket, hidden in a dumpster just blocks away. Before diving deeper into the brutality of the crime, we need to understand who Liese was. Because stories like this can easily become all about the killer. But Liese Dodd was far more than the way she died. She was born in Alton, Illinois, in August 1999. Friends and family describe her as bright, funny, and endlessly caring. Even as a child, she had a heart for others. On her 10th birthday, instead of asking for toys or a party, she organized a fundraiser for a local no-kill animal shelter. She wanted her birthday to matter for the animals she loved so much. Through high school and into her early 20s, that same selfless spirit continued. She worked at a Dairy Queen, where customers remembered her as bubbly and warm, someone who always made an effort to brighten a person's day. She dreamed of building a career in medical field, following in her mother's footsteps. And in June 2022, she was preparing for a new role, one she was most excited about, motherhood. She was 8 months pregnant with a little girl. Her family had already begun calling the baby, Baby Bean. A shower was planned.
I had just sent out invitations prior Saturday for the baby shower. We were just excited and kind of gathering the items you need to have a baby.
Liese hadn't yet chosen a name, but she was ready to love, to care, to start fresh. Her mother later said, "She was a loving soul. I wish she would have known how loved she was. She should have been here raising her baby." But love isn't always enough to shield someone from a dangerous relationship. For nearly 2 years, Liese had been in an on and off relationship with a man named DeAndrea Holloway. He was her age, from Illinois as well. Their connection was complicated from the start, intense, volatile, and at times abusive. According to people who knew them, Liese often made excuses for injuries, A black eye explained away as a dog jumping up, bruises hidden under long sleeves. But eventually, she admitted the truth. She was being hurt. Co-workers even witnessed Holloway striking her once, right in the car outside the job. At one point, the pair had been homeless, living in a tent. Holloway drifted from place to place, sometimes with her, sometimes without.
She was making up a story,
Okay.
and then she finally did tell me that she had some problems with her boyfriend, was hitting her, and they were actually homeless and were living out at the campground at the lake.
He also battled mental health struggles, documented in messages he sent to friends where he confessed he didn't know how to control his emotions. Those who saw the couple together knew it was unstable, dangerous even. Lisa's mom worried constantly, and in early June 2022, things reached a breaking point. The evening of June 8th began like any other. Lisa was seen sitting on her porch earlier in the day, scrolling through her phone, likely making plans for her upcoming baby shower. But by that night, everything spiraled. Neighbors reported muffled shouting coming from her apartment. At first, it sounded like a normal argument, the kind many had overheard before, but then it grew louder, more desperate. The apartment walls shook, as though heavy objects were being slammed. And then came the screaming that cut through the night and left neighbors frozen in fear. One neighbor later described the sounds like chopping wood. Within minutes, the noise stopped. Silence. When police pieced it together later, they realized those were the final moments of Lisa's life. She had been decapitated inside her own home. Hours later, the man on a camera carried the laundry basket outside. Inside was Lisa's head. He walked casually, almost calmly, and dumped the basket behind the smoke shop. It was a level of brutality that shook everyone. No neighbor called 911 that night. The terror of what had happened was hidden behind closed doors, unseen, until the next day when Lisa's mother arrived. The horror wasn't interrupted in time. The investigation moved quickly. Police already had a name in mind, DeAndre Holloway. He was Lisa's boyfriend, the last person seen with her alive. And by the morning of June 9th, he was on their radar. It didn't take long to find him. Later that day, Holloway was arrested in Gillespie, Illinois, on unrelated charges. When authorities confirmed his identity, the connection became clear. He was transported back and charged in connection with Lisa's death. On June 13th, just days after the murder, Holloway faced multiple charges: first-degree murder, intentional homicide of an unborn child, dismemberment of a human body, concealment of a homicidal death, and several related offenses. But the legal process wasn't straightforward. Holloway's mental state became a central issue. At one point, he was found unfit to stand trial and was sent for treatment at a state facility. Only after he was deemed competent did proceedings continue. All the while, Lisa's family waited for justice, mourning both her and the unborn granddaughter they had been preparing to welcome. Fast forward to January 17, 2025. After 2.5 years of legal delays, evaluations, and headaches, the courtroom heard the final chapter. Holloway pleaded guilty. The sentence was devastating but decisive. 60 years in prison, 30 years for Lisa's murder, 20 years for the homicide of the unborn child, and 10 years for concealing her death. He will have to serve more than 5 decades before even being considered for release. For Heidi Noel, Lisa's mother, the words she spoke in court carried the weight of a lifetime of grief. On that night, I received a life sentence, she said. It wasn't only about her daughter. It was about the grandchild she would never hold, the family memories that would never be made, and the hole that could never be filled. Law enforcement and prosecutors praised the outcome, acknowledging it could never bring back what was lost, but hoping it offered some measure of closure. For the community of Alton, the sentence symbolized accountability. But for Lisa's loved ones, it was still an unbearable reminder of what had been stolen. Even now, the echoes of this case ripple beyond the courtroom. Lisa's story has become a rallying cry about the dangers of domestic violence and the importance of intervention. Her mother had urged others to take threats seriously, to leave unsafe relationships, and to believe that if someone says they might hurt you, they are capable of carrying it out. The loss of Lisa and baby Bean left an entire family and community shattered. Yet in their grief, they've chosen to channel her memory into awareness. A GoFundMe in her honor has raised funds for domestic violence resources. Her story has been covered nationally, not just because of its brutality, but because it highlights an uncomfortable truth. Too many women and children are lost to preventable cycles of abuse. In the end, Liese's case forces us to ask a haunting question. How many more lives will be lost before change happens? How many more warnings will be ignored? Liese once shared a poem on social media about strength and survival. It ended with these words, "With every goodbye, you learn." Those words now stand as both a heartbreaking reminder and a legacy. A young woman, full of love and potential, gone too soon, but not forgotten. The story of Liese Dodd isn't just about a crime. It's about the cost of ignoring red flags, the fragility of life, and the urgency of action. As you hear her story, ask yourself, how many more lives could be saved if we truly listened? If you found yourself moved with Liese's story, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think could have been done differently? And how can we, as a community, do better? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a story that matters.